What do you find when you dig deep into the depths of the earth? We found a few rare elements, like commitment, compassion, a passion for perfection, and a vision for a stronger and better tomorrow. That is NMDC. It's not just a pioneering story of one of the world's finest iron ore producers, but a story of leadership with a human touch. From the depths of the earth to the bottom of hearts, NMDC has touched lives all around, creating wealth, building sustainable opportunities, and working towards impacting lives positively. NMDC, harnessing Earth's goodness. What do you find when you dig deep into the depths of the earth? We found a few rare elements, like commitment, compassion, a passion for perfection, and a vision for a stronger and better tomorrow. That is NMDC. It's not just a pioneering story of one of the world's finest iron ore producers, but a story of leadership with a human touch. From the depths of the earth to the bottom of hearts, NMDC has touched lives all around, creating wealth, building sustainable opportunities, and working towards impacting lives positively. NMDC, harnessing Earth's goodness. What do you find when you dig deep into the depths of the earth? We found a few rare elements, like commitment, compassion, a passion for perfection, and a vision for a stronger and better tomorrow. That is NMDC. It's not just a pioneering story of one of the world's finest iron ore producers, but a story of leadership with a human touch. From the depths of the earth to the bottom of hearts, NMDC has touched lives all around, creating wealth, building sustainable opportunities, and working towards impacting lives positively. NMDC, harnessing Earth's goodness.
Afternoon all. We are starting the business session 2. It's on Indian coal industry, power, beyond power, and future of coal mining, which will be moderated by Mr. Partha Bhattacharya, Chairman, Minerals and Mining Committee. We have very eminent guests and speakers. Special address will be given by Mr. Anil Kumar Jha, former Chairman and MD Coal India, Mr. Rajesh Kumar, Chairman and MD NLC India Limited, Mr. Tuhin Mukherjee, Managing Director SL Mining and Industries Limited and Sector Head, Mineral Resources Development Aditya Birla Group, and Mr. Binoy Dayal, Director Technical Coal India. I would request Mr. Partha Bhattacharya to kindly take it forward from there.
Thank you very much, Arnav. It is really a great occasion to have such luminaries of the Indian mining industry join together to deliberate on a very important topic about the Indian coal industry, beyond power, beyond power, and the future. What I would propose to do is, I would not like to get into a speech mode because there are eminent speakers who will take it through. I'll just flag a couple of issues, and I'm quite sure that the speakers will address them in their own manner. And we'll make a slight change in the order. We were expecting Mr. Jha, Anil Jha, to be the first speaker, deliver a special address, he being the senior most. But since Mr. Rakesh Kumar has a very important engagement with a couple of ministers visiting NLC today, we are slightly making a shift, and we'll have Mr. Rakesh Kumar address first, followed by Mr. Jha, then by Mr. Mukherjee, and then by Mr. Binay Dea. Now, coming to the couple of small issues, or rather, I don't say they are small, they are quite tricky issues. First of all, the coal sector is witnessing some sort of headwinds on the demand side. What we have seen is 2019-20, it produced just about a little less than the previous year. 2018-19 was 607 million tons, and this was 602 million tons, but very far away from the target. It missed the target by about 58 million tons. Yet, at the end of the year, what we found is coal stocks are very substantial, both at pitheads as well as at the power stations. So is it because the demand is not coming up to the extent expected? Are we planning for too much? And is it a temporary sort of an affair, or is it going to be a feature of the Indian economy? That is one aspect that needs to be decided, because we have, at the same time, the renewables coming up in a very big way. In fact, the renewable capacity addition in the last 5 years has been close to 90 gigawatts, although because of the low PLF, they produce, their generation is much less, but still they are coming up quite fast, and we have a target of 450 gigawatts by 2030. So basically, how is the demand likely to sort of fan out in the 3 to 5 year kind of a frame? Is it consistent with Coal India trying to achieve a 1 billion ton target? And we also have the commercial miners coming up. So that is one part of the questions. There is another issue which is actually pulling down the competitiveness of Indian coal. And particularly, there was a recent report which showed that at Tamil Nadu, where Mr. Rakesh Kumar comes from, the coal from Mahanadi coal fields was priced at landed cost was about 4,000 rupees, and so was the landed cost of imported coal. Now, the fact remains that the Indian coal price is far, far less. They get only 25% of that 4,000 rupees accrues to Mahanadi coal fields. It's just about 1,000 rupees. But because of the huge rail transportation cost and the royalty cess, etc., the landed cost nearly, sort of prices it out as compared to imported coal from Indonesia. So is there a strong case for proper policy advocacy on the rail transportation? Because rail transportation, as you know, is basically very, very high, abnormally high, because it has to cross-subsidize passenger freight. And in terms of rupees per billion ton kilometer, the Indian freight rates are one of the highest in the world. And can we continue with that kind of thing? Can coal freight allow cross-subsidization of passenger traffic for anymore? Or otherwise we'll be out of business. I am told that railways have already started feeling the pinch, and they have actually lost in terms of total volume in billion ton kilometers because of the high freight. So there is an internal pressure, but I think there has to be more pressure from the coal side to make it to see reason and rationalize the tariff. The other question that's coming up is commercial mining has just opened up. First lot of blocks have been allotted, and we understand that that is, of course, not much. It can support a capacity of something like 51 million tons per annum. But some other phases will also come up. That is one. And as well as the captive mines of companies like NTPC. NTPC has a production plan of 100 million tons, up from the current level of 15 million tons. So these kind of developments, will it eat into the market? Or rather, will it put a lot of stress on Coal India Limited? is another question. We have two great gentlemen from Coal India, the ex-chairman who just retired about a couple of months back, and the current director technical. So we would like to hear from them on these issues. The other issue that is coming up is in respect of washing and pricing. Now, washing, as we all know, the Ministry of Environment and Forest has recently come up with a notification that coal need not be washed. I mean, earlier there was a restriction that any coal moving by more than 500 kilometers need to be washed, but that restriction is gone. So how does it actually impact Coal India? Or how does it impact? Because in that case, if you are selling unwashed coal, particularly for longer distances, then actually we are paying for the consumer has to pay for the freight of the non-coal matter. I mean, huge ash that is being carried, you have to pay for that and get less calorific value. So does it make sense? In a related context, I must highlight a particular paper which I saw very recently written by my immediate successor, Mr. N, which is there on his LinkedIn profile as an article. It's a very, very insightful article where he points out that the price of Indian coal in rupees per 100 calorie doesn't change from G14 to G9. The entire power grade, the coal price in rupees per 100 kilocalorie is the same. Let me drive the point further. If we look at coal of two varieties, let us say 3,800 kilocalorie GCB and 4,800 kilocalorie GCB, which means a difference of GCB by just about 26%. In the international platform, if you look at the FOB prices of these coals, the 3,800 is available at $24 and 4,800 is available at $43, which is an increase of 80%. So for a 26% increase in calorific value, the increase in price is 80% in the international platform, which is roughly about 3% for every 1% increase in calorific value. The price changes by 3%. You come to the Indian coal, the 3,800 coal is priced at 856 rupees or so, and the 4,800 kilocalorie coal is 1,150 rupees, which is just a difference of 28%. And in terms of rupees per 100 kilocalories, 23 rupees 50 paisa and 24 rupees. So is there a definite disincentive for quality improvement? Does this kind of pricing support quality improvement? Or should there is a need to realign prices so that quality improvement, coal washing, etc. gets a fill? I think the last point that I have to ask is regarding afforestation and the social sustainability issues. See, we actually gathered information way back in 2010-11 when the IPO, because every investor wanted to know the track record of Coal India in that respect. And we were absolutely pleasantly surprised to know that for 1 acre of forest land that is subsumed into mining, Coal India creates 2.5 acres of forest land. And those are good quality forests, because some of those forests have turned out to be no-go areas based on satellite surveillance, particularly at Singrauli and other places. I think we have not been talking about this quite a bit, because there is a huge pressure from the environmental lobby to stop coal mining. There is a pressure from both economic side, the tariff of solar power coming down, and it has now come to a point where fresh capacity addition for power generation, I think there is hardly any point of making it based on coal. It should be based on solar only. But still, the marginal cost of power generation from the existing plants in thermal power plants is lesser than solar power. But soon a day may come when solar power could drive down to a level where even marginal cost basis, it is better than coal-based power, in which case the coal will start taking a downturn. But even before that, there is a lot of pressure from the environmental lobby that sustainable mining is not being done, sustainable forest deforestation is happening, and things like that. I think these cases where we have clear records to show that that is not the case, and a lot of thrust on afforestation has taken place, is taking place, that needs to be actually projected. So on the communication side, on the public relations side, on the social awareness side, whether more should be done in order to perpetuate coal mining for a longer period. I think these are some issues that I wanted to flag, and can I now request maybe Mr. Rakesh Kumar to first give his address, and then we turn to Mr. Shah.
Thank you very much, Bhattacharya sir. respected President of Bengal Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Shri Dev Mukherjee, respected Shri P.S. Bhattacharya ji, Chairman, Minerals and Mining Committee, BCA and I, and former CMD Coal India Limited, respected Shri Rana Som, Co-Chairman, Minerals and Mining Committee, BCCA and I, and former CMD NMDC. Special speakers invited to this session, respected Shri Anil Kumar Jha ji, former CMD Coal India Limited, Shri Tuhin Kumar Mukherjee ji, Managing Director, SL Mining and Industries Limited and Sector Head, Mineral Resource Development, Aditya Birla Group and Member, Minerals and Mining Committee, BCC and I, and Shri Binay Dayal ji, Director Technical Coal India, and all the participants of this e-conclave. Very good afternoon to all of you. First of all, I take this opportunity to appreciate the BCC and I for having organized this 2 days e-conclave focusing on the most relevant and timely theme, metals, mining and metal sectors, preparedness for post-COVID revival and global play. I am very glad to know that the opening session of the conclave has been dignified by the presence and keynote address by all the dignitaries, including our Secretary Coal, Shri Anil Kumar Jain ji also. And I'm just now trying to address few points which are highlighted by Bhattacharya ji, that the world is passing through a great uncertainty. COVID-19 pandemic has really put the world economy at a major risk. And according to the WTO, world trade is declining, thereby indicate that the world economy is likely to face recession. Although India has been managing well till date in continuing containing the spread of the virus, the COVID-19 pandemic has already disrupted the normal economic activity and life in our country. India's trade has been severely impacted. People have sudden loss of their income, and to rescue the economy, our government has announced impressive fiscal and monetary stimulus packages. And I'm sure under the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, our country shall come out of the crisis and pave way for the new phase of the improved and inclusive world to fulfill our mantra. Hence, in the present times, to keep the momentum high, every organization has to adapt and perform the new skill sets, management techniques, and out-of-box thinking. Next, when we are facing the challenging position of coal industry, on the one hand, the environmentalists are putting pressure. The environment concern is telling effect on other developing nations, coal production and power generation. Our country is facing a unique situation wherein having large reserves of coal which have not yet been exploited sufficiently. On one hand, we are faced with the challenge of utilization of those resources, and on the other hand, when we are witnessing that the solar power is becoming very aggressive, and recent tender, we saw that the solar energy is available at 2 rupees per kilowatt hour. That fierce competition, we were under the impression that as the decline is progressing, the pace of the decline will be slow, which has not happened. Right from 2 rupees 65 paise, 2 rupees 44 paise, 2 rupees 36 paise. Now it has come to 2 rupees and 2 rupees 1 paise. Very, very aggressive bidding. Therefore, challenge before the coal industry has become a huge one unless and until we shift our thinking, unless and until we come out with some innovative solutions, it is not going to happen. That is for sure that if we don't address the issues of the environment, we cannot go ahead. So we have to find a solution which takes care of the environmental concern also. Therefore, clean coal technologies is the reply. And as we progress on clean coal technologies, we are definitely going to find our ways of using these huge resources, which will, in case these resources are not being able to get used for the economic development, it is going to be a huge loss for the nation. And we will definitely pay the price of not using these resources, and we will have to shift to other resources paying the cost. On solar front also, technology has not yet been developed in the country. Therefore, we will have to depend on imports, and we will be compelled by the economics to go for more and more solar. Therefore, we have to come out with some innovative solutions to use coal resources in the country in a big way. So, as we are progressing on the usage of coal, not only for the power generation and unlocking the obstacles by bringing in policy changes, we are also planning, Government of India is also planning to go in a big to shift coal usage from power generation to new environment friendly fuels like methanol. So lignite to methanol, coal to methanol is being planned in a big way. This shift definitely will bring us a lot of relief, lot of usage of coal in the time to come. And I feel that pithead power stations and pithead plants, be it power generation, be it methanol production, we have to find replies by economizing the operations, by coming up with the pithead power stations and pithead plants of methanol production. That will definitely, as we compare the natural gas based methanol, which is now getting imported to the extent of some 85% meeting the country's requirement, these can be replaced by indigenization of methanol production in a big way, which should be coal based. As we compare the coal energy in terms of methanol generation, we feel that it is comparable as $1 per MMBTU as compared to the gas price of 1.73 plus the transportation charges and all that. So definitely there is a case of competitiveness in coal, usage of coal, environmental friendly solutions of coal usage. So we have to shift the strategy. We have to come out with pithead power plants to have competitive power generation. And as the solar industry is progressing, still battery has to invade the industry. It is going to go a long way, and financials are also not encouraging that we will find 24/7 solar based energy. Therefore, coal has to play the role in the time to come in the mixed way of supplementing the solar energy, as well as finding newer ways of clean coal technology and environmental friendly other products like methanol and ethanol and other derivatives. With these words, I just thank you for the opportunity given. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Rakesh Kumar. I think you have touched upon at least a couple of issues and have suggested solutions to that. First of all, on the railway transportation side, you didn't take the path of policy advocacy for reducing transport costs, but you have suggested pithead power stations, which actually is an even better answer, I would say. And so future power stations should be more like pithead so that you avoid the rail transportation totally. You mentioned about the low price in dollar per therm of coal. It's about $1 per therm, that's correct, and that is lower than the natural gas price. But there is an issue on capex, because the numbers that Coal India has come out with for the 6.7 lakh ton coal to methanol project at Dankuni, they're talking about an investment of 5,800 crores, which if you translate to per ton of methanol capacity, it works out about 80,000 rupees. So at 80,000 rupees, the capex related charges, if you assume that to be around 15% interest plus depreciation, that itself is quite high, and methanol prices are known to be very volatile. So whether although the lower cost in energy will be offset by the high capex of coal to methanol project as compared to natural gas to methanol, is something that has to be seen. Anyway, I think thank you very much for your address, and it was really quite insightful. Let us now turn to Mr. Anil Jha, the veteran mining man who is credited with bringing Coal India to beyond 600 million tons in 2018-19 with a 7% quantum jump in production. So at least the people who recall his latest achievement will recall on that. He did a great job in Mahanadi coalfields, but we see the latest thing first. And we remember the euphoria that was created in 2018-19 when he took Coal India past the 600 million ton mark, which is a very creditable kind of performance. So Jha, I would request you to share your thoughts on this subject.
Thank you very much, sir. Respected Bhattacharjee, sir, most celebrated and admired former chairman of Coal India Limited. Sir, it was really very heartening, and I really felt very proud when you said that distinguished speakers are there and you should limit your speech. Sir, no one is more distinguished than you. If one person who can be credited for bringing coal industry in general and Coal India Limited in particular, entire credit goes to you and your team when Coal India was listed. Everybody was very apprehensive, but then Coal India was oversubscribed 15 times and it created a history. Sir, coming from your words that we are distinguished speaker, I really feel very humbled. My friend Rakesh Kumar, CMD Naval Lignite Corporation, you are a very modest person of very few words, but his action speaks. He is the one person who is credited with starting that block in Jharsuguda. I'm forgetting the name of that block presently, but
is it Talabira?
Talabira, yes, Talabira 2.
Yeah.
And credit goes to Mr. Rakesh Kumar for taking out coal from Talabira, and it has started production.
Wonderful.
Mr. Tuhin Mukherjee, my very senior esteemed colleague, I have the fortune of working with him in CMPDI. All the time a very well dressed, very erudite in speech, with whom we have learned a lot of things. I find myself really very honored to be sitting with him and sharing my experiences on coal industry with him. My friend Binay Dayal, who happens to be my batchmate and who should be credited with introduction of ERP system in Coal India Limited. Though belated, but then he is the person who will taking it forward. Shri Arnab, distinguished audience, a very warm and respectful good afternoon to all of you. Sir, you have given 4 points to speak upon. First is demand supply. Second is commercial mining. Third is environment. And fourth, the railway logistics. How railway is charging more than that. Sir, I will come point by point with each point. But first of all, I would like to tell you one thing, and I would like to tell you in a very clear and loud voice. Please make no mistake. Coal is going to stay, and at least for 20 years, there is no substitute for coal. Sir, this is a country of 1.35 billion people. Only renewable energy cannot take care of all the requirement of the country. And the quality of electricity which is generated by renewable is not matching with the quality and sustainability of the electricity which is generated by the coal. So coal is going to stay as far as requirement of electricity in coal industry is concerned. Sir, in the morning session, I had the good fortune of listening to you and to Mr. Naveen Jindal and to Mr. Anil Jain, Secretary, Ministry of Coal and Mines. They were very categorical. Naveen Jindal has already said that in India we are using even less than 3 unit electricity per capita. Three units, which is even not 1/3 of the world average and less than 1/20th of the developed country. So, if our country is going to be a 5 trillion economy, this energy consumption has to increase. And if energy consumption has to increase, then coal has to play a major role. Its percentage contribution may reduce, but in absolute terms, requirement of coal will be there. And a recent study was made where it has been elaborated that coal will plateau at a level of around 1.3 to 1.4 billion tons. So from 965 million tons to 1,400 million tons. So still there is a gap of 500 million tons, and that gap has to be bridged. Sir, your first point was demand supply. So let me tell you one thing, sir. As far as India is concerned, last year we have produced around 730 million tons of coal, and we consumed around 965 million tons of coal. So there was a gap of around 235 to 40 million tons of coal. Out of that, 50 million tons only goes for the coking coal, for which there is no substitute. But remaining 185 to 190 million tons coal, it is being imported irrespective of the fact that India is the 4th largest reserve of coal. So it puts us on a great responsibility that that gap has to be bridged. In case of non-coking coal, power grade coal, that 185 million tons, around 85 million tons is used by the power plant which are situated in the coastal region. As you have very clearly explained that the per capita landed cost of energy, whether it is imported or whether it is indigenous, it is same in case of imported coal for coastal power regions. So I think that some amount of coal, around 80 to 85 million tons, which cannot be substituted. They will continue to use the imported coal. But remaining 100 million ton, that has to be substituted. So you said very clearly that even at a production of 602 million tons, they have a reserve of around 75. They have a stock of around 75 million tons in the beginning of the year. But one thing we must consider, that in spite of that huge reserve, our import is not reducing. So it gives us a very thorough introspection. Why so? If we have 75 million tons of stock, then why our import is also increasing? A few days back, I had a discussion with Chairman Coal India also. There we were discussing that consumer has to be given all the facility. Nowadays, liquidity position in market is very, very, very strict. They don't have liquid money. So Coal India must facilitate them so that in case of imported coal, they get a credit margin of 6 months. But in case of Coal India, we don't give any credit margin. So I have requested that we should see that how consumers can be facilitated. There is a requirement of coal, but there may not be that liquidity to purchase that coal. So if they can be enhanced in that respect, if consumer can be given certain facility, I am very sure that demand will further pick up and that stock will be reduced. In the morning session, Secretary Coal was also saying that we will have to look our marketing division differently. So by differently, I mean some innovative measures has to be introduced so that our stock should be liquidated and our imports should be restricted. So there is a requirement of coal. So if consumers are given some facilities, that stock will certainly reduce. And in coming year also, Coal India is also going to produce more. Some commercial miners are also coming. So I think this import substitution will take place and we will have to import as little as possible. But as of now, some measures has to be taken so that consumers feel the ease of doing business. They should be given facility so that lifting of coal can improve. Your second point was commercial mining. That it is a very contentious issue. You know that Coal India has got a very strong unions. But in spite of that, I must congratulate government that they have gone ahead with the commercial mining proposal, and the first tranche of commercial mining auction was a success. Already been taken. That in coming time also, they are going for the second tranche in January and all. It will be a success because Coal India alone will not be able to provide the entire coal requirement of the country. If it has to give a production of 1.4 billion, by no means Coal India alone can do it. And commercial miners should given an opportunity. And until and unless Coal India compete with the commercial miner, it will be very difficult to say something on the efficiency of Coal India. I, being a part of Coal India, I can say that Coal India is giving its best. And my hats off to Coal India that even during the pandemic period, not a single day Coal India was closed. All the time they were producing coal. That is why not a single power plant suffered due to want of coal. Our power plant has sufficient stock. So commercial mining will supplement Coal India only, because Coal India alone is not in a position to take care of the entire requirement of the country. And it will be a welcome change. Any day, it is better that we should give an option to the commercial mining than to import coal. If we give an opportunity to the commercial miner, it will generate further employment and the money will be used for some better purpose. So commercial mining is a welcome change, and I wish all success to the commercial mining. It will keep on supplementing Coal India, and country will not have dearth of any coal. Coming 3-4 years, I am very sure that commercial mining will also come in a big way and will supplement the total demand, total supply of the country. So the third point you have raised about that afforestation. Sir, there is a huge myth in the minds of the general public, because our propaganda, our public relation is not as it should be. We are not able to project ourselves the way it should be projected. We, being a Maharatna company, we also lack so many things as far as public relation is concerned. As far as pollution is concerned, in case of coal mining, there is only one major source of pollution, and that is dust. And that can be taken care of. And in that case, Coal India has also have a very ambitious plan. They are going to spend around 18,000 crores for first mile connectivity to take care of all those things. So in coming time, I don't think pollution per se from Coal India will be all that matter. Yes, degradation of land is a serious point for which we will have to consider differently. How those lands can be brought back to the original position should be a major assignment for us. As we have very clearly said, that as far as afforestation is concerned, whatever forest we are destroying, we are trying to do at least 2 times more than what we have destroyed. And Singrauli is a burning example of that. I am told that temperature of Singrauli went down by 2 degrees centigrade due to huge forestation taken place in and around the Singrauli area. So I personally feel that afforestation is one thing which can be well taken care of by us, and Coal India is also taking care of it also. Other industries of mining, as far as mining is concerned, they are also taking care of forestation, and it is not going to be a very major constraint. If we degrade forest land, we will try to replenish it, and we will try to do more, and it is doable. So I don't think from environmental point of view, except degradation of land, which can be reversed to the extent possible, we can have a sustainable mining. We are not a major contributor to the pollution. Our only major contribution is land degradation, and that has to be reversed, and for that action is being taken. You may be aware that in case of almost all project report, there is a chapter how to restore that mine closure. So it will dictate how the mine will be closed and how the land will be brought to the original shape. Your fourth point was really very interesting. Nowhere in the world passenger freight has been as cross-subsidized as in case of India. To cross-subsidize the passenger freight, coal is being heavily charged. When I was in CMD Mahanadi Coalfields Limited, our coal used to go to Punjab. The cost of coal was 800 rupees and cost of freight was 2,000 rupees. In any case, it is not acceptable. But people say that your coal is so costly, that is why we are getting power at such a high price. Nobody says that freight is so high. So of late, this is also taken care of by the Ministry of Coal. And as railway is already feeling the pinch, and Coal India has also taken a very noble step of rationalization of linkage. So wherever it is possible to swap linkage to minimize the transportation, that has also resulted in a very good saving. But if railways can also bear certain burden of that coal, then situation will further improve. At the most, if railway fare can be slightly inclined towards the benefit of the coal, and if government taxes like royalty, district mineral fund, GST compensation says, this can be further rationalized, then Indian coal will have the more reflecting effect. So I feel that in time to come, coal is going to stay. Coal will be the even more powerful source of electricity, and up to 20 years, until and unless there is a miracle, coal is going to stay. So it is our collective responsibility to see how best we can use our coal. Power plants should also contribute and see that they should minimize pollution to as minimum as possible. And coal should be so placed that it should give the permanent source of electricity, sustainable source of electricity, regular source of electricity, which is not the case in renewable. Up till then, when power storage comes into picture, I think coal has a very bright future. And in a country like India, where there is no other alternative but the coal will at least see future for 30-40 years. At least for 20-30 years, I don't see that ourselves accordingly. What will happen after 20-25 years, we cannot guess now. But if this country has to go from a 2.5 trillion economy to 5 trillion economy, there is no way but to depend on coal as far as our energy supply is concerned. I once again thanks the entire BCCI team for giving me an opportunity to speak my thoughts in front of such an elite gathering. And my special thanks to Bhattacharya sir, who is always erudite. He always gives us opportunity to speak our mind open, and who is one person who has given really breakthrough to the coal industry. If everybody now knows about coal industry and Coal India, the credit must go to his team. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jhasa, for those very generous words about me, but more importantly about the insights that you have brought into the whole issues. And I completely agree with you that I don't think we have any way but to depend on coal, at least for the next 2-3 decades. And that is the general perception among the, more informed people also. Recently, there was a program which was done by Brookings, because they have come out with a book called The Future of Coal in India, and whether the transition is going to be bumpy or seamless. In that also, they have projected that over the next 15 to 20 years, there will be growth, because India is one of the very few countries which is not yet closer to the peak. Every other country has gone to the peak or is going to the peak. But India is at the peak is at least 15 to 20 years away, and that is the 20 years that we are talking about. And then the feeling is that it will stay at that level for a while before commencing the downward journey. So I think on that, there is absolutely no dispute, and we are all agreeing to that. In fact, you have agreed to most of my suggestions, like you have yourself expressed that there is a need to improve the communication aspect of Coal India. I mean, the kind of job that Coal India does for dust suppression, for forest developments, for afforestation, for environmental management, for social sustainability, these need to be told, and told at various fora. Where I think we have a little bit of a weakness, we always had that weakness, let me tell you. We slightly did it better when the IPO came, because we are compelled to do it. So only under compulsion we do. And I think what you are now suggesting is that point of compulsion has already come. So I think they should think more about it. I enjoyed your point on changing of rules of business, thinking of some credit margin to the consumers, looking at the consumers' point of view, and trying to give them level playing field with imported coal. If you want to really replace imported coal, they must get terms which are similar or comparable to that of imported coal. Then only we can talk about replacement. And I'm quite sure with Mr. Dayal here, he is definitely listening, and the point will be driven down. We come now to Mr. Tuhin Mukherjee. He is also my friend, as he's your friend. And but he left Coal India a little early, but continued the connection in some form or other. He has a background of geology. So apart from the other questions that I have already raised, which he will definitely, I look forward to his responding. I'd also think of asking him one specific question, that given the kind of scenario evolving, if exploration has to be done, focus has to be more on exploration. Should it be more on unexplored blocks, or should it only focus on detailed drilling of underexplored blocks and keeping the unexplored blocks as it is? Because I don't think the unexplored blocks are really going to contribute in the medium term, and so we can rest them there and first focus on underexplored blocks being proven. So, what should be the thrust of exploration? That will be an additional question to Mr. Tuhin Mukherjee. Over to you, Mr. Mukherjee. Yeah, you're on mute. Please unmute yourself.
Thank you, Mr. Bhattacharya. Am I audible?
Yeah, very much. Loud and clear.
Again, thank you for your opening remarks. And also you have added one additional your point about exploration. Okay, I'll try to touch base. Before I formally start, let me thank BCCI, Bengal Chamber of Commerce and Industry, for arranging this two-day conference, what you call e-conclave, and that too keeping me amidst the most distinguished leadership team in the coal sector in our country, whether Mr. Bhattacharya, Mr. Anil Jha, or Mr. Rakesh Kumar and Binay Dayal, where Mr. Bhattacharya and Jha, you may call it, they have ex-Coal India, but I think they are still continue to be the senior leadership in the coal industry. And both Mr. Rakesh Kumar and Binay Dayal, they are the now informed leader in the coal industry. So I'm really grateful to BCCI for putting me in this. That is all the more difficult for me because they all are the leading, or I should say, they are controlling the coal industry in the country, all are PSU-based coal industry. Whereas right now I am representing a private sector. So this is a very, that also gives me a difficult situation and difficult challenge to express my thought process, because so far I have heard from both Mr. Rakesh Kumar and Mr. Anil Jha, and in between Mr. Bhattacharya's very valid comments from the PSU perspective. So I would like to touch base and put forward as a coal as an industry, which has been controlled, managed, and in the country, and what is the future outlook. Now, considering all this, the timing of these deliberations is very apt, as today the global focus across the world, it is the energy transition. They're all planning how to move from one form of energy source to the another form of energy source. And there, how does India ensure its transition? Will it just a transition or something different? And that too, there's I think there's a beyond coal campaign is getting momentum every part of the world, excepting India, Southeast Asia, and China. So this is a very important challenge. And both Mr. Anil Jha and Rakesh Kumar, they have touched base about the coal scenario in the country and what are the challenges, Coal India specific, because today coal in India means Coal India and Naval Lignite. Both they control the hard coal and the brown coal. So from the private entity, what is the outlook? That I will touch base because I will not go because the coal is going to be stay there. Both Mr. Bhattacharya and other speakers, they have touched base. There's no second thought. So the issue before us today, if coal is going to be there, we all acknowledge, then how do you attract investment in coal sector? That is the key challenge, what we need to appreciate and understand. That is what I will have to touch base today. I think Mr. Bhattacharya will agree with me. I will go on that. I slightly drift up from that angle, that side. And there I will try to touch base about whether to put exploration, because when you investment in mining means it starts from the exploration to the mining, then comes beneficiation, then delivery. On that story, I just go back a little bit. That coal as a commodity is a very unique commodity, and it plays a very significant part of India's natural wealth. It's such a versatile commodity, and it has so variety of properties. It can be used for many other purposes rather than only fuel for power. Besides the steel, it can use for cement manufacturing, conversion to oil, feedstock for the fertilizer, chemicals. Even today, they are all talking about manufacturing carbon fiber for replacing steel. So such a versatile commodity, coal, why should we restrict ourselves only for power generation? That is the one area we need to ponder upon and discuss across. Now, if that is so, the basic challenge from the so-called our NGOs are environmentalists, those who are campaigning beyond coal. How do we address their challenges, their issues for mining the coal? I'm not going to coal as a combustion, mining the coal. How do I mine the coal in a more sustainable manner? And for that, how do I get the right investment and right deposits and supply the quality coal? So in this background, what I would like to touch base, the future of coal mining in India will be broadly controlled and guided by broadly three issues or three parameters. One is the demand, as all of you have expressed. Demand is going to there, not only for power, also additional demand is going to come up. And which geographies and how do you meet those demands from the geographies which is devoid of coal? So keeping this in view, if we have to go forward and coal to be mined and supplied as an environment-friendly commodity, I think coal in mining industry must realize and accept that we have to work together along with the government and civil society in a very harmonious manner. So that is the first priority if you have to invest in a coal mining. so that all the three stakeholders, government means I'm talking about both the state, federal government and the state government, the coal miners, and the civil society. So far, wherever we talk about miner, we talk about Coal India. But going forward, you have to think the mining industry means whether it's owned by the shareholder is the PSUs or a individual private owners. It is the coal mining company. The responsibility of the mining company to his stakeholders and the civil society and the government, that needs to be addressed on that line. One, these three entities, three means government, I'm again repeating, government means the state and federal. They work together and they realize that coal mining got to be in a responsible way, what we call a sustainable way. In that case, I have to bring three concepts. One is responsible sourcing, responsible mining, responsible delivery. And how do you achieve this? That is the key challenge before us. Now, once we address these issues, we talk about responsible sourcing. Where is the exploration, where is the coal, or mining machineries, or explosives, or manpower, or the land. All need to be addressed, need to be in a responsible manner, with a well-accepted rule of the land, code of conduct. Then go forward. Then come responsible mining. Today in India, we produce about 730 million tons of coal. How many mines we have developed across the country? It is the optimal size. And thereafter, we are now with the new opening of commercial mining, we'll be adding maybe another 50, 60 mines. Will be the right approach. Then comes responsible delivery. Whatever coal we produce, is it the quality coal? Are we addressing all those environmental issues, whether it's a solid particle, dust, quality, and how do you deliver to the consumer? Now, this particular aspect will be even more when you talk about commercial coal mining. The commercial coal mining, I think Mr. Jha has very rightly captured that despite we produce 730 million tons of coal, we put about 250 million tons of coal, of which let's take out 50 or 55 coking coal. These are non-coking coal. Now, commercial coal miner, when they will produce coal, they definitely will try to compete with the imported coal. For competing with the imported coal, you got to have a quality equivalent to imported coal. So when you mine a coal in any of the mining assets, you have to prepare the coal which can compete with the international coal. What we call how to beneficiate the coal. At what cost? So when I'm going to invest in taking these three parameters, responsible sourcing, responsible mining, and responsible delivery, I have to work out what is my optimal investment. Or otherwise, and based on geomining condition and the deposit, each has its unique capital intensity. What are the capital intensity and what will be my capital productivity? That will give my value of money. That will give me return on capital or return on investment. This is the one area I think when you're going forward, when you are talking about coal is going to stay, no doubt about that. In order to attract investment, we need to address these fundamentals. Now, just on the 11th tranche of commercial coal mining auction, which just took place in the month of November, now I think 15 or 16 mines have already been is going to be allotted now, and next tranche is coming next, I think January or February. All these projects the success of this project will come up only when here the basic uncertainties in investment get addressed. This is the one area I would like to touch base today. Now, second aspect is that having invested, each investment makes a commercial sense. Then comes, how do you deliver this coal or distribute the coal across the country or pan-India consumer? In India, practically all coal deposits are restricted into a eastern or central part. Rest of the part we have to transport. Already Mr. Bhattacharya and Mr. Jha, they have already spoken about the railway bottleneck and railway fare charges. So once these mines are come up in this, and railway is totally under the states, under the federal government sector, they're already overloaded. They have already reached their limits. When the new commercial mine comes, how do we transport the coal from that mine to the different consumers? Because that also adds to the investment model. When you talk about this particular delivery parameters, and that linked to the quality again, because today any commercial miner, whoever takes the coal, his interest will be what is my landed cost of heat value when I use it for the power generation. What is the unit cost of particular coal per unit of that energy? So that means the coal which is going to be produced by a commercial miner, that has to be a coal of that quality, which is nowadays you have seen that everywhere, the traceability with the proper branding of the quality and the heat value. Otherwise, today if the coal comes from particular mine, that's where a brand of that. Only then people will pay for that. And that is called sustainable mining will come. Like, the diamond, the blood diamond. Blood diamond, nobody will touch. Similarly, if coal comes from a particular source, people will not touch that coal. So that is a challenge for the coal mining going forward. So if you have to compete with the international imported coal, we need to have address how do we transport the coal from one part of the country to the pan-India, particularly southern and western sector. Number two, how do you beneficiate and make international standard quality coal? These two are the challenges. If not properly addressed, the commercial coal miner always says that I normally, as a common term, there are a lot of headwinds will come in the commercial coal miners. Because when they invest this, whatever the capital, that will have a far-reaching effect on the entire project. Now I'll come to Mr. Bhattacharya specific question of the exploration part. In the broadly the commodity sector, particularly three major minerals: iron ore, coal, limestone. These three are the bulk mineral, and these three are the fundamental basic core mineral for any economic movement of the country. Limestone for cement, iron ore for steel, coal for both power and the coal and the steel. These three also, fortunately, if you use critically, it has a more or less similar type of geological formation history. They call it the bedded deposits. Okay, it is not that complicated like copper, lead, zinc, gold, diamond. It's a bedded deposits. And India is very fortunate to have a good share of these deposits across the country. Now, again, credit goes to the government of India when the coal were nationalized. Maybe some people criticize when you nationalized in 1971-73. In fact, prior to that, when the first private sector company of coal by NCDC was formed way back in mid-50s, from there, a systematic coal exploration started. And thereafter, after 71, that picked up the momentum. So from 71, 70, after 71, 73, coking coal and non-coking coal, then Ministry of the Government of India has a very well-structured exploration program. Over the years, they have explored fairly good part of the country where the coal availability is there, and they have proved up to a 600 meter depth. Up to 300 meter depth, they have proved between 300 and 600 meters, they are fairly good under indicator category. Beyond 600 meters is a inferred category. Those 1200 meters, sometimes beyond 1200 meters. Now, Mr. Bhattacharya's very specific question: should we put our emphasis on exploring unexplored area, or we continue to convert the explored area and improve the confidence level from inferred to indicated to proved as per Indian standard, as per JORC standard, international standard, we bring it to a higher confidence level? That's a very good question, and that's mostly I'll give you my opinion. It is simply economics. Simply economics. That gives me confidence of investment or not. Nothing else. I will go guided by my economics part of it. Today, I look at coal is not a PSU voluntary charitable service. Coal is economic, mining is economic activity. It should be environment friendly and sustainable. Right.
Good.
This is the way I look at it. So I feel that since the theme of the topic of this BCCI was the post-COVID-19 revival and global play, I would like to conclude coal is going to stay as a commodity in the country, in our country. I think my earlier speaker has spoken about 20 years, 30, 35 years. But again, I'm repeating Mr. Bhattacharya's comment is that we have not reached the plateau. He spoke about peak, but normally whenever statistically, when something goes down or the population starts to diminishes, is plateaus. Thereafter, it goes down. In India, coal has not plateaued so far. Like, I'm just giving one simile. Last 5 years, coal export from three major countries, Australia, Indonesia, South Africa, is plateaued. From 2015 to 2019, last 5 years, the CAGR of export from Australia is about 1%. South Africa, Indonesia about 0.6%, 0.6. South Africa, 0.8. Then that's plateau. That means the export from those three countries plateaued. Now that may go down. India has not plateaued. As I totally agree with Mr. Bhattacharya, the plateau will take maybe around 2040, maybe another 20 years' time. Thereafter, this plateau, to reach the plateau, there will be a growth. And thereafter, it will go down. Thank you so much.
I think it was a very enlightening and very refreshing talk. I don't say it is a non-PSU way of talking. I mean, you talk absolute business sense, and PSUs also do business. So just excellent. I'd come to your points, a discussion on your points a little later, but let me first give the opportunity to Mr. Dayal. Mr. Dayal, you are on mute. Please unmute yourself and let us hear Mr. Dayal and then come to the discussion. In the meantime, Arnab, are you here? Arnab? Arnab?
Yes, sir. We can hear you, sir.
Now the point is that your session, according to the circular, closes at 3:45. I want a 10-minute extension.
Yes,
I want a 10-minute extension, and it is possible because I know between these two sessions there's a 20-minute e-break. You make it 10 minutes and give us 10 minutes more. Okay, so we close at 3:55. Mr. Dayal.
Okay, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Very good afternoon to all. And in fact, I'm here because you just tried to call me and suggested that I should be here. So I can't refuse my ex-chairman CIL, that most honorable and most wanted Sri Bhattacharya, and other panelist Sri Vikiya, my batchmate, ex-chairman Coal India, and Sri Rakesh Kumar, Newly Lignite, Sri Tuhin Kumar Mukherjee, MD SL Mining, with whom I have worked in CMPDI for quite a long time, and I'm really impressed by his thought and your future seeking ideas. And you had been the instrumental in establishing a remote sensing at that time, I think 20-25 years back, and that has become a main revenue earner for the CMPDI. Still, it has become a revenue earner for the CMPDI. It is earning more than 100 crores. So really, I'm thankful to BCCI for giving me the opportunities, other dignitaries, and ladies and gentlemen. The assigned topic is vast and has multiple dimensions to it. However, I wish to begin with a simple but undeniable fact that my previous speakers have also supported me, that the Indian coal and power are intertwined and inseparable, joined by umbilical cord of complex ecosystem. The premature severing of this cord will be difficult, and that too when more than half of the population is eagerly waiting to reap the benefits of the comprehensive and aggressive initiatives and measure of the government. The government has announced that 24/7 electricity supply, and they have announced that the country wants to go on the roadmap of 5 trillion economy by 24, and further down the line by 2030, $10 trillion economy. So that put a great onus on coal because the commensurate energy requirement will be huge for reaching to that goal. And the criticality of developing coal sector further is highlighted in this case. If you analyze the energy consumption in India, India is energy consumption in worldwide, it is the third largest energy consumer. But it is a net energy importer. 80% of the oil and gas are imported. In contrast to the coal, where 80% of the indigenous coal production is there to meet the demand. And in fact, the energy import bill is as high as 8 lakhs crores of rupees, where it is eating away our scarce resources foreign exchange. So what in terms of development, fast development to come in the league of developed countries, the energy requirement, which doubled in 19 years, in 2020 it was 400 MTOE. It has now become 900 MTOE, 2019. So in 90 years it doubled. I think in next decade, if we have to jump and we have to come in the league of developed nation, it has to be doubled further. So we welcome all sort of energy producer related to commercial mining. As Mr. Jha has also said in the previous speaker, ex-chairman Coal India, that commercial mining is welcome step. It will supplement the Coal India effort. And even the renewable energy demand, the 450 megawatt that has been put, but there is a question mark that most of the solar cells and solar wafers, they are getting imported. We don't have manufacturing facility for the solar ingot, solar wafers. That is a technology is not there with us. And even for the solar panel developing manufacturing, so solar panel and solar cells, we have very, very little capacity. So if you want to go in a big way, and of course, as CMD Newly Lignite mentioned that there's aggressive bidding in case of renewable energy. The price has come down from 2.6 rupees per unit to about 2 rupees. Let us see how it is workable, because we have to work on the several things, storage capacity, and there is a lot of incentive to renewable sector. In the long term, if that is removed, then how it can compete. Plus, it is available, the utilization is only 20%, 22%. So those are the things that that are there. So I will limit some of the basic fundamental question raised to me by Honorable P.S. Bhattacharya Sahab. That is, one thing, marketability of coal and coal quality issue, washing aspect. Then issue of sustainability, and there is a alternate utilization of coal and import substitution. Of course, that will come under the marketing. And the demand side. The demand side have touched that if you want to grow want to be in league of the developed countries, the energy requirement is very, very, very low, 3 unit per capita, as mentioned in the previous session. So it has to be at least increased 3 times and 4 times, like that. So coal, what you need is affordable energy, reliable energy, and energy that is sustainable. Coal meets all the 3 criteria in addition. But worldwide, if you see that there is a lobby against coal, and when I visited Poland recently, so I attended a seminar that was almost a funeral to coal, and they were discussing how to close their last of 2 mines, working mines, and extract the methane, abandoned mine methane from there. So it was altogether different in UK, France, and some of the North American countries. But in case of Asia, when you talk about the Asia, the China, the India, and some of the other countries, the coal seems to remain here because it is abundant, and it has large resource base and huge requirement because of the population, because of our developing needs. World over, the coal requirement maybe in advanced country, maybe in the other countries may come down due to COP21 commitment and all that. India has also signed that treaty, and we have INDC also of reducing the CO2 generation from 2000 level to 1/3 by 2030. So there's a lot of pressure on coal that how to not to utilize in the power. So CA has also projected that whatever ongoing 23 gigawatt are there in the pipeline, no further capacity addition will be there. That is clearly it has been mentioned. So there is a power, but power requirement is huge. Beyond power, coal utilization, it has been mentioned about the coal to chemical and all, and further requirement of coal in the 2 decades or 3 decades likewise. So I will touch in present situation where the COVID struck Indian economy, where in the first quarter, where there has been the shrinkage of minus 26% of GDP in the first quarter of this financial year. In second quarter, the shrinkage had been minus 8%. And in third quarter, where we expected a very V-shaped recovery, we expect that it will level, there will be no growth as such. And in fourth quarter, we expect that some growth will be there. And as Niti Aayog Chairman, Mr. Rajiv Sharma has mentioned that there will be V-shaped recovery. If the vaccine kind of thing and other things boost our confidence level, then there is a lot of recovery in the market. So marketability of the coal remains the issue there, because there is a question of import substitution also. We have taken many steps, as Mr. Jha was mentioning, that ease of doing business, the marketed coal and consumer who are paying us in advance and keeping the money. They said it should be steps should be taken. We have taken the steps that is respect also, and further marketing of the coal. If it is not market available in the India, we are also thinking of exporting also. So, but main issue remains what Parthu Bhattacharya sir has raised, that freight rationalization is the main thing. The differential pricing of subsidizing the passenger and the taxing the coal transportation is the killing the competitiveness of the coal at the coastal area. We have taken up the matter. We have flagged out this issue with the Ministry of Coal and Ministry of Railway, because we are telling that you substitute the import at least 170 to 180 million tonne. Then the transportation of coal at the even coastal power station will be cheaper if the freight rationalization is there. So these kind of thing, and taxes and the green sales of the now subsumed in the GST 400 rupees is still there. So that is translating the huge outgo apart from the our notified, over and above our notified price. Talking about the coal quality, recently the MOEF has issued guideline regarding use of the coal. It has lifted the embargo that over 500 kilometers the coal, even unwashed coal, can be used. So Coal India is committed to coal quality issues, and what is important is.
No, we can hear you.
Yeah. What is important is the consistent quality of the coal. Consistent quality of coal and some desaling, some low cost of washing of coal. Maybe a desaling, half-scale washing. So because a consumer is not ready to bear the cost of washing, because as it happened in the case of Pipavav, the consumer was previously, they were willing to pay the prices fixed for the washed coal, other than the notified prices. They were taking at the 2600 per tonne for G10 and G9 coal. So that kind of premium that we are expecting is really is not there, will not be there. I think because we are going ahead with the 1 billion ton program as in full speed with the MDOs and the other 49. We have 49 greenfield and the brownfield projects that we are expanding, and MDO for 15 MDOs projects that will totaling up to 150 MT capacity. We have floated tender for 7 MDOs, and we are getting a good response also on that respect. Some of the are Garjan Bahal, some of the are Siarmal 50 million ton, and the Kotre Basantpur is there, and Chandragupt in CCL areas are there. So we are going in good full way, and commercial mining is also coming. Maybe today it is 50 MTY, in future it will be more. So there is several issues, as Mr. Mukherjee, Tuhin Mukherjee has also mentioned that the evacuation portion. He has mentioned the evacuation portion. Then most of the mining is happening in the belt of Odisha, Ib Valley, Talcher, and the Chhattisgarh area. So there is huge requirement and coordination and the investment requirement in the infrastructure, particularly rail infrastructure. We are doing that by forming joint venture and the deposit basis. Even the investment made by the rail infrastructure, those can be utilized by the even private operators. We are taking into their account their requirement also. And ministry is also very much concerned about the evacuation, how they will evacuate the coal, and what more lines are needed. We are in constant touch with the railway. I mentioned that coal quality issue is for us now, not it is a G10 or G9, but it is a consistent quality that customers are looking for. And import substitution will also happen with some good grade coal, that whether we can adopt the half-scale washing or desaling. We have already adopted the policy of desaling, but yet to come, because it is cheaper, it is not a capital intensive as washery and all that. So that is the issue. Marketability of coal, we have taken many steps for ease of doing business that I mentioned. Regarding alternate utilization of coal to chemical, it is in nascent stage, I will call it still, because for good quality coal, the technology are available, and for medium ash, we can call it 28%, 30% ash, the technology still we can look for. But for high ash coal, like in Talcher, there are more than 34%, 35%, mixing of petcoke may be required, and for that, the technology provider has to be there. So we have taken easy steps that in Raniganj, the good quality coal we are taking for the Dankuni coal complex. But as mentioned that it is highly capital intensive. The air separation unit and gasification unit and all that, there's quite capital intensive. And on top of that, if your methanol economy is there, but unlike coal, we produce coal as a coal producer, and we are allowed to sell it as per some arrangement. In case of the liquid hydrocarbon, that privilege is not there with us. So marketing right remains with the IOCL, marketing right remain with the other oil producing units. We are in constant touch with the IOCL, and in fact, the price that we worked out for the methanol production were quite competitive. But after when we discussed in threadbare with the IOCL, they were adding so many taxes, they were adding so many handling charges and so many things that it was coming to a very, very higher level. So government has also think of subsidizing it if the coal to chemicals business has to be there. Coal to chemical methanol will be there, then ammonium nitrate, and we have planned for the 4 places, one in CCL, other in SECL, WCL, and 1 place in ECL also. So about aggregating about the 5 to 7 million ton of coal. The alternate utilization coal remains the marketability problem remains there, apart from the technology problem, which has got to be imported, and we have to align with the foreign manufacturer. The recent demand, slow in demand, maybe in this financial year, the coal production target that has been set by highest level by Mr. A.K. Jha, 607. So we are looking towards, if the demand picks up, then we'll breach this mark also. But we have to work hard for the market or coal, because we are day by day we are producing more coal, and the stocks are building up. And last year we started with 75 million ton, and still we are carrying the stock at 52, 53 million ton, and the coal power station is flushed with the coal, and through the requirement of 23 days, and the captive power station to the 12 to 13 days, and they are unwilling sometimes to take the coal. However, non-power, we have captured them, their imagination, and they are booking. So, the commercial mining, we have taken the challenge. We have taken up many of the steps like digitalization of the mines, and maybe improving productivity by employing the digitalization. In our mega mine, we can improve the productivity by 15 to 20%, and other factors. We are also trying to, through MDO, we can also get a very coal at cheaper price. So with this thing, I think I have answered I have tried to cover most of the topics, most of the.
You've covered all.
Yeah.
So,
but one thing I've left, the issue of sustainability, that is our thrust area. And recently we are planning that blocks which are having a more than 60% of the forest area and not a high quality coal, we'll leave that as such. And we will declare that this is the potential capacity we have lost on account of sustainability. We'll not mind that. So those kind of things we are examining and we're taking out the action. Thank you very much.
thank you so much, Mr. Dayal. I mean, it was a very, very comprehensive presentation. You have covered a lot of grounds, a lot of topics, and I think you have highlighted basically the reasons why coal should remain for a very long time. The demand has to go up from 1,000, 1,100 per units per person. We have to reach 2,000, 2,500 if we want to develop ourselves. And that cannot be possible with solar or anything else. Coal has to come in a big way. It will stay in a big way. As Mr. Mukherjee mentioned, that we are yet to reach the plateau, and the plateau is not very, very near. It is a little away from us. So I think every aspect has been discussed. Only one point I will leave it not for discussion, but for your consideration at a later stage. Please have a look at your pricing formula. Your pricing is not conducive to quality. If you want to improve quality, you have to do some investment. And quality has been given a lot of thrust by Tuhin and by Mr. Cha and everybody, yourself. But you cannot improve quality unless you have the price which incentivizes quality improvement. Everything is economics here. Your price doesn't. So if you want to really improve quality, build it in the price and have a relook at the pricing formula. I think we have come to the absolute end of the session, and I really don't have time. I'm getting pressure from all my BCCI colleagues. But let me tell you, the few questions that have come that have actually got answered during the deliberation. So I'm not really repeating the questions. And I just want to thank Mr. Anil Jha, Mr. Tuhin Mukherjee, Mr. Dayal, all of you for an excellent presentation, a very comprehensive presentation. You have left a lot of thoughts for people to ponder. So thank you so much, and bid you goodbye. We'll meet again. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jha. We have a wonderful session, and with this, we thank everyone. Already, Mr. Bhattacharya had concluded the session, and we'll look forward to. We'll be coming up with the proceedings with all the important points, and will be shared. And you must be happy to know that these entire sessions have gone live in Facebook and YouTube also. So we'll be sharing all the links so that you can send it to everybody so that they can watch it too. With this, I would conclude this session, and we'll be quickly back with business session 3, which is with fireside chat session with Mr. V.R. Sharma. And the topic would be coal gasification enabler for a clean energy future. Thanking you all.
Thank you, Mr. Arnav. Thank you very much.
Sir, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dayal.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.